lights go dim, it's time to find out what's within. Behind the camera, there's so much more. With AndyGames, let's explore. Behind the camera with AndyGames, meet the streamers, learn their names. Off the screen, who are they? Tune in now, don't delay.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Behind the Camera with AndyGames. This is the podcast where I interview people from the world of content creation and beyond with the sole purpose of getting to know the person a little bit better behind the camera. In this episode, I sat down with YouTuber and film major Conrad's channel. We discussed his extensive background in videography, his YouTube journey and how that has developed over the years, and how his current hobby in YouTubing meshes with his studies in film. Here is the interview. Conrad, thank you so much for taking the time to appear on Behind the Camera. How are you doing today?
I am doing. Should I be honest, or is it like a just like we're starting? So I should be.
Oh, I mean,
do I answer sincerely? How sincerely should I answer?
Any way you fancy.
Because I was gonna say I'm doing fantastic, but the truth is I haven't been sleeping great.
Oh.
And so I've been sort of tired. I've been drinking a lot of caffeine, and that's also been feeding into that cycle. So I have this green tea here, which I feel like is less severe than coffee. I think I'm on my way to a healthier pattern.
Yeah.
But no, I'm fantastic. I'm doing well.
Good to hear. Green tea here. Green tea slept on. Green tea is absolutely slept on, I think. Like, I don't know much about its caffeine content, but it tastes pretty damn good.
The caffeine content is less than black tea, which is also less than coffee. And I think it releases slower than black tea and coffee. But also, the thing about green tea is if you leave the tea bag in there too long, it gets all gross.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is what I just did. I don't care, though.
No, fair. It's,
still am going to drink it.
Yeah, good. So yeah, Conrad, just whole premise of this, as we've talked about, is just a way for listeners to get to know you a little bit better as a creator and just as a person. So your content, you primarily focus on YouTube. Talk to us about your start on YouTube. Like, how did you get into sort of posting content on YouTube? Which I do believe it's been quite a long time that you have been doing this.
Yeah. I started, well, before post, okay, you know what? I wanted to say, I have this microphone, that I was going to record with, but this cord this one here, the one that goes to the computer, it doesn't work. So you have to put pressure on it in order for it to record. So it keeps turning off. So the microphone, basically, I've got this nice microphone. It's not working right now. So unfortunately for this podcast, you're going to have to deal with my microphone. But,
that's totally okay, man.
but with that caveat out of the way, I started making videos when I got a MacBook Air when I think I was 10. And I had iMovie on the MacBook Air, and I would use the MacBook Air camera, and I would hold it. If this 3DS is the MacBook Air, I would hold it like this and film things. And I made some absolute classics on iMovie on MacBook Air. I made a video called Ninja Adventures because I had a ninja costume in my house, and I was actually a ninja for 2 or 3 Halloweens, not in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was nostalgia. By 5th grade, I had nostalgia for like 3rd grade, but the last time I was a ninja, and I was like, I want to do that again. But I went, I did Ninja Adventures, and then I did, some other, doesn't really matter that much. There was one where I was like I tended to make superhero things.
Okay.
I liked to make things where I was like a guy who could punch stuff.
So were these like first person videos with you holding your MacBook like with the camera facing out, like they weren't like first person POV things, no?
I do remember trying to do a POV video where it was like video game in real life, and like I had my friend like hold it, and he's got his hand, and it's like I was doing this whole thing where it's like I had the hand in front of the camera, and I thought it looked cool that I was using it like a video game, and I was like, whoa, and I can use my hand like this, and my friend was standing in front, and he was being like the guide, but we never ended up well finishing that one. I didn't post any of them, any of the ones from that era until a few years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. I posted them on my YouTube channel just because I wanted them somewhere.
Yeah.
But then, so I never posted anything, and I was mostly my inspiration was like Smosh, Ryan Higa, those like early YouTube sketch YouTubers were very much who I was inspired by. Even people like the Dominic Show. Do you know who that is?
I don't. So out of those ones that you've just mentioned, I know Smosh.
Okay.
But that's about it. So it's I'm really showing my age here, but yeah, I know Smosh.
Okay. I was very into Ryan Higa and his community, and one of those guys was the Dominic Show. I liked his video, hand fart kill, where he was like a guy going, doing a infiltrating like a warehouse, and he farts in his hand, and he's like hand fart kill. I honestly think about hand fart kill a lot. Other people like I remember like Wong Fu Productions early on. I was into. Um, but then I started. I was also very into Pokemon content. People like MNJTV Pokevids and the J Wits. Do you know who the J Wits is?
No, no.
Well, if any of your listeners do, that guy can rap. And this is you put in a clip of
Yeah.
the J Wits rapping. Um, guys, because there was a Pokemon cipher where he absolutely, what do you say when someone raps well? He absolutely laid down some bars.
Yeah, I think that's yeah,
Laid
laid down some bars, spit some
He
fire
spat.
bars
Yeah. He spat some
yeah.
fire. He was he was he was yeah. But when I was 12, I started my channel that is now called Conrad's channel. Uh, Conrad's channel, it was rebranded to Conrad's channel after about 3 years. The first few years it was Plum Pokemon, which was PLU capital UM space
Okay.
Pokemon. And if you go to the back of my channel, you can still find Plum Pokemon videos where I am a 12-year-old with very bright red hair. It's not natural. It's dyed that color.
All right. Yeah.
Like I went to the hair salon and I showed them a picture of Markiplier. Actually, that was the picture I showed them. I was like, make me look like this.
Fair.
And Markiplier is another
Yeah.
influence.
I actually
Obviously.
the Markiplier is one I've actually heard of.
Of course. Yeah, all those people too. Mike, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie.
Yeah.
You know
I know
who
those.
else?
I know those guys. I know those guys. Yeah, I know.
Of course.
Yeah.
So you're AndyGames.
Yeah.
You're gonna know the gamers.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Tobuscus, huge inspiration. Say what you will about Tobuscus and his whatever situation he had, allegations and stuff. Independent of that, you know, allegations over here, and then Tobuscus talking to his dog videos over here. Huge inspiration for me. Just the way that he did. I don't know. I feel like he kind of taught me like making a video where two people are having a conversation by doing the videos with his dog.
Yeah, because that's like a big part of your content within your sketches is like that two people talking in a room, like and like Is that sort of just like come from your inspirations, like you watching, growing up watching all these YouTubers, and sort of having like a sort of obviously like a creative knack for yourself, having well taking your laptop and trying to make videos from like 10 years old. Was like the sketches always something that just kind of clicked whenever it got to the point where you came up with your first idea?
Uh, at first, the sketches were I would write them for me and my friends,
Mm-hmm.
and then the three of us, my friends, me, Asa, and MJ, were the primary members of what I considered like my YouTube channel uh team. And so the three of us were the characters usually.
Yeah.
And then post COVID was when I started doing the ones where I played multiple characters
Mm-hmm.
because everybody was apart. So I needed to like do that by myself. And then I found that that actually allows for me to control a lot more aspects of the production and the writing, the act. It just allows me to control every aspect of the production. So they tend to like come out cleaner
Yeah.
than when I'm making it with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it works for me. I do want like more experience working with other people, and I've had a lot of great experiences working with other people, but I get the most done the quickest doing it alone. And yeah.
Yeah, of course. I think as well, whenever it does come to like making YouTube content and skits, it's like if you're in like a group of people, it has to be like a collective, collaborative arrangement from the get go. I kind of think if
Mhm.
you were to like sort of present an idea to your friends, that's when the kind of like your original vision sort of gets like sort of picked apart and it becomes like a so or like an amalgamation of other sort of ideas, and it just isn't necessarily all the same. But then, as you say, like when it gets to the point, you know, COVID being like the big one, of course, that changed a lot of people's lives, changed a lot of like content creators content as well. People having to sort of really improvise on what they do, move into like a different niche sort of thing. um would you say that like COVID turned out to be one of the better things in terms of your channel?
uh I don't know, because COVID hit and then I was making videos. You know what? Actually, so my when COVID hit, everyone was bored.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. I was 4 years into making YouTube videos. At that point, I was 15 or 16. I think I was 15 when COVID hit. Um, that so having all of that free time. Well, two things. Okay, I'm gonna, you know, we can turn the cameras off. I mean, we don't actually have to turn the cameras off, but just for the cameras, I don't know. This is just between you and me, but
Of
really
course,
they
yeah,
can
yeah,
hear. But
yeah,
but it's between you and me.
of course.
I'm working. I'm in the early stages of working on a video right now. That's like kind of about coffee and caffeine
Mm-hmm.
and so it's just very much in my head. And two things happened simultaneously when COVID happened. I started drinking coffee because my siblings came back and my brother was making coffee in the morning. I started drinking it, and so I gained a. I guess that stimulated me to be more productive
Yeah.
generally. So like I'm going to my Zoom classes and I feel incredible. I'm like, oh my god. And then like I go, I like started working out, and I was working on videos too. I remember pretty early on in COVID, I made a video called Mr. Business that was a music video that up until that point was the most advanced song I had ever made.
Hmm.
And um that definitely the most advanced music video. It had the most moving parts. I filmed it over multiple days. I had like a costume. I was always like, my siblings and my mom were like always in the kitchen, and I'd be kind of going up and down the stairs, filming myself doing different things. And so like and as in regards to exploring my own my own creativity as what I can do just by myself, I
Mhm.
think COVID was good. But it also represented, or not represent, but it also uh was the end of doing like a lot of collaborative stuff.
Yeah.
Almost. Because before COVID, I wrote I was, I'm 15 years old. These are not the greatest videos you've ever seen, but I wrote a season of a show
Oh, okay.
that was called the GCB show because my friends and I, uh, me, Asa, MJ, we made a band called the Good Christian Boys, and I thought, there's we thought that was funny. We watched Jack's films. We thought that was funny. Um, I thought that just because I have like some musical talent that I could like Asa and MJ, the two of them just don't. Neither of them play instruments.
Yeah.
Uh, it just doesn't make sense for them to be part of a band.
Yeah.
But I really wanted this like Lonely Island kind of dynamic, so I was like really pushing for that. So I would get us together and like I'd have this instrumental that at first I didn't make them myself, then I started making them myself, and I would like have us record stuff, and it was like this we're like 13, 14 years old, and I'm telling MJ, do it again. You're not on beat. Like you're not lining up with the rhythm. We have to record it again, again, again. And it got pretty tense, pretty fast because of my creative pressure that I
Yeah.
was exerting on my friends. And then I decided, okay, pivot. GCB, Good Christian Boys, no longer is a band. Now it's a group of superheroes.
Okay.
So my guy was Clout Rad. I'm Conrad Clout Rad. I wore cloud goggles. Um, quick question, or no, I shouldn't get off topic,
That's
but
all right.
the then my friend Asa was Asadia, and at the time MJ, this is their dead name, but the dead the like version of their dead name that I had as their name
Yeah.
was Matthiasaurus Flex, like Tyrannosaurus
Yeah.
Rex, but Flex, like like money.
Yeah, of course. Of
Um,
course.
and I don't know what this. I should have been this,
Yeah, I mean,
but
I knew what
here you
for
are.
for some reason I still knew what you meant, even though it didn't even cop on that it wasn't you weren't doing that until
um, so then I did one season of the GCB show where the three of us are superheroes, and then COVID happened, and then later we did season two, where most of the people got back together and made the second season. And the second season was better. And I'm looking back, I am so like eternally grateful for the fact that I had the opportunity to write things, cast my friends, and then be like, guys, come over at this time. We're going to film your scene, your scene, your scene, and then be done with the episode for the day. And then I'm going to I'm going to edit it. Like, I got the chance to, like, go through the entire process of making a YouTube sketch.
yeah.
But those weren't sketch. They were more like
No.
episodic. They were
Yeah.
more like episodic
Like a sort of mini
skits.
series, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
Like a web
yeah,
series
definitely, yeah,
kind of thing.
yes. Um, yeah, I'm really grateful that I had that opportunity, that
No,
all
it's,
that collaboration.
yeah. And I'm sure like obviously it is like such a different thing going from being in like a constant collaboration with your friends, always kind of coming up with new ideas, to going on essentially on by yourself. And obviously like it does get to the point in life itself when you get to like a certain age, like you're college age, right?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Yeah. So like that itself is like sort of a very big time for being away from your friends. Like I don't think
Hmm.
anybody who's been to college or university will know. And it's a sort of thing like, how do you keep these collaborations up? It's probably like a stroke of luck or just like a case of networking or something. So, I'm assuming you're doing something regarding video film in college.
Yeah, majoring in yes, I am majoring in film.
Yeah. So was that inspired by your YouTube past, or is it just something that you've always kind of enjoyed doing, like film, being a part of it ever since you got your MacBook, I suppose?
Right. Uh, it's well, making videos and video production has always been like the thing that brings me the most fulfillment
Yeah.
in life. So there's not really much else I could see myself doing other than making videos
Yeah.
of some kind,
No, for sure. And like, I suppose
which is
when
scary.
no, 100%. But like, it is one of those things, isn't it, where you've been doing this for so long as a hobby. It's like you get so immersed into something. You kind of like when it comes to like making these like decisions. Which, by the way, having to make a decision about your long term future at like 16, 17, it to me is like ridiculous. I look back about 15 years whenever I had to do that, and I'm just thinking, why no this. But anyway, I digress. But like,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I mean, fair play. That makes sense that you're doing it, but like, it does get to the point you're kind of like, this is all I know. But obviously, if you're doing that out of a hobby, and obviously you grow with your hobbies, or your hobbies grow with you, I should say, because if you go back to the beginning of your YouTube journey, compare that to now, you, I'm gonna assume you have a lot more editing, a lot more production, a lot more kind of
Mhm.
just things that you sort of learn to do as you've went along, right? And how do you find then the difference between content creation on YouTube compared to video production in a college setting?
Mm. Um, First, something that you said before that I wanted to mention
Mhm.
is that being 20 and being college age is uh, scheduling is a nightmare. When when you when you involve more than two people in something, there is a astronomically higher chance that that thing is not going to happen. Like it in a production of
Yeah.
some kind.
Even in a
If you're trying to get
non-production,
more
yeah.
than two people together, it's impossible.
Dude, one thing I can tell you is like, it even in a non-production way, it doesn't get any better. I'm in my 30s, and trying to
Yeah.
organize anything with anybody is a
Well,
fucking nightmare.
the one reason that it would get better is if you could pay people to show up.
Hmm.
The reason that it's so impossible is that there's not money being given to the people
Yeah.
who you're expecting to show up.
Yeah.
So like I mean, it's a once it's people's job, then then stuff gets done. But like when it's three kids trying to do it as a hobby, there's like you can do it as a high schooler because everybody leaves school at the same time. So it's like, all
Yeah.
right, everybody just get on my bus, let's go back to my house. But then like college comes, everybody's got classes at different times and everybody's tired and has uh I don't know, in my experience, copious amounts of sex with many women. So that it's scheduling becomes a nightmare. But I want to get back to the actual. So the difference between YouTube production, so video production in the context of YouTube versus video production in the context of a more professional environment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it, man.
Well, not a good time to take a sip.
Nah, it's all
Um,
good.
um, so like, well, with YouTube, this is what I'm learning. Is YouTube, it's it's I'm trying to decide where to start. With YouTube, you're battling against, or working with
Yeah.
the algorithm. Everybody talks about it all the time. Everybody knows YouTube algorithm, right? You do how often do people click on your video? How often do people look at the thumbnail and click on it? How much of it do they watch before they click off?
Yeah.
You're looking at click through rate, watch time, uh, watch percentage, maybe percentage viewed.
Hmm.
Um, so and people try and optimize their videos for like different discovery methods, like search, and then uh, there's also there's like, do you optimize it for search, like search terms, or do you optimize it for a recommended tab? And depending on what like size your channel is, those can matter, because if you're a smaller channel, I guess you want to optimize more for search, and then if you're a bigger channel, you want to optimize for recommended.
Yeah.
Uh, but the thing that I'm learning is you want to strike a balance between your creative expression as a person and trying to cater to the YouTube algorithm and the YouTube space.
Mhm.
Because YouTube videos, people click on them when they have certain types of thumbnails and they have certain types of titles, and when there's a clear angle as to like, what is this video about? Uh, so sometimes it's asking a question, or uh, you know, my I recently had a video get a lot of views in a way that has never happened to my channel in the history of America, and it 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 got like 175,000 views. To be honest, that was a little bit. It's at like 174 point. So what? This is coming out
Yeah.
on Sunday. It'll definitely be there by now.
Exactly. There we
Uh,
go.
this video is called "How Duolingo Thinks People Talk." It's
Yes.
about 3 minutes long. Uh, and the thumbnail, so within the thumbnail, it's like my face, a little Duolingo bird, and then text on the side of the screen
Yep.
that says, "I'll have the pizza with cheese," which is what Duolingo told me to. I'm learning German right now. Um, Duolingo told me to say that, but which I've always kind of thought that when you ask for a pizza, what you would need to specify, you would only need to specify about the cheese if you're not asking for cheese.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah. That's
So
a.
I don't know,
It's a
maybe in
strange.
Germany the pizza comes just as bread and you have to ask for the cheese. But I don't think that's the
I
case.
no. I mean I can't attest because I've never been to Germany, but I'm going to assume not. I'm going to assume that it's just a universal thing,
Yeah.
and Duolingo is just lying to us. Just reminds me of like learn.
Yeah.
It's the sort of thing that like the way Duolingo like gets on is like it's like you're back in high school Spanish or French or any language class, and like they make you say the sort of most dumbed down basic things that nobody's ever going to say, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. I was actually
And
going
I
to
don't
ask you about
even
that video because I did see that video and I thought it was brilliant. Do you think? Sorry, I know this is a bit of a tangent off what we were talking about, but just while we mentioned it, do you think as well that one of the reasons why it did so good was, yes, you had the thumbnail, the engaging title, everything that the algorithm wanted, but at the same time, Duolingo had kind of gone viral again at the same time because of the
Yeah.
whole thing with the owl. So was that done on purpose, or was that just like a sort of strange coincidence, or
That
because
was a
I'm
strange coincidence.
really.
I had no idea the owl was dying.
Yeah, the
I
owl just
thought
got killed like randomly out of nowhere.
I think that's totally why the video caught on, is that Duolingo was a popular search term at that time, and so it's probably showing up on people's recommendeds.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you look on YouTube, Duolingo is massive. Like there are just dozens of videos of people being like, "I tried Duolingo for 500 days. Did it work? Can I speak Spanish?" And like, Sorry if that's an offensive accent to you,
Oh,
but
dude, absolutely
um,
not.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But um, like I don't know. On YouTube, Duolingo is a big topic,
Yeah.
and I didn't even really know that. I was just doing German Duolingo, and I wrote that video, and I was going to release it, and I was going to call it something really not catchy. I was going to call it like "My Father is Big" or something. I was gonna call it something completely removed from the context of Duolingo, so that people wouldn't even know that's why I wrote it.
Mhm.
And I showed that video in a class, and a guest professor said that it reminded him of a play called The Bald Soprano, which is a play that is based on the playwright's reading of English language manuals,
Mhm.
or English language, or what is it? English language. Well, English books that for to. Jesus Christ! I'm just gonna
It's all good. All good.
books to help you learn the English language.
Yeah.
So like he's reading these things where people are like, the weather was good yesterday, but it is bad today. And and the play is just lots of like long monologues of this family. And in my video, I don't even think Duolingo is bad, or I think it's a good, it's not the best way to learn a language, but
No.
it's free and it's a pretty good resource. I've learned some German on there.
Yeah. Like you
And I
okay.
understand. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry.
no, no,
What
no.
was that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there. Go on ahead.
I understand the method of teaching that it's doing. Like, it's not like I'm looking at these sentences and going, "What the fuck? Nobody says that. There's no way I'm gonna use this." I'm totally like I see like yeah, you're gonna say absurd sentences because you're learning the words,
Yeah.
the building blocks.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I mean, they're not like teaching you to be like an overnight linguist. It's more just it's like baby steps, learning context, learning all these things, how to like implement different types of verbs and adverbs and all this kind of other stuff. And it does. I mean, it does. On hindsight, it really does make me wish I'd give my language teachers more credit back in high school, but that was a long time ago. So fuck them. but so like,
I had a great Spanish teacher.
I'm not gonna
She would
lie, I
like
had great ones
she
too.
would like she would like cook us food and stuff,
Really?
and she had an alter ego
Oh shit.
where she would be her alter ego Doña Juana, and she'd be like, "Doña Juana, try my cooking," and she would cook us like arepas and stuff.
That's brilliant. Oh fuck. I wish my Spanish teacher did that. Oh, fair play. But so okay, so like just to go back to what we were talking about before. So like you even though you mentioned you showed the video in one of your classes, right, in college. So in terms of like the production in college, like is it done in terms of like a more professional kind of way, or what sort of skill level is there in comparison to YouTube? Like is it sort of more and more the same, or do you have certain things like this is what we want you to make? You have unlimited creative license, but this is the genre sort of thing, or what's the sort of general kind of outline with like say your college sort of filmmaking?
My experience so far has been very up and down with school, because I graduated high school a year early. I did a dual enrollment program during COVID, made it really easy to do that. I graduated high school a year early, and I went to UMass Amherst, and that's still where I am. Don't try to find me; you won't. If you try, and if you do, I'll, I'm fucking dangerous. But um, my point. So I started at 17, and I wasn't even willing yet to admit that I wanted to do film,
Yep.
because I was still making YouTube videos. I was actually on a different channel that was fully about Pokemon at that time. um, where I really was just honestly on that channel. I was like, all right, I'm gonna see what happens if I just choose a niche Pokemon and just try to algorithm it and
Yeah.
be like, let's make engaging content where I'm like, I ranked every Generation 3 Pokemon, and do all like the flashy editing of the Pokemon stuff. And that was really fun. But I ended up falling out of it because I had a period from age 18 to 19, but it was almost 2 years, the actual period of time, where I didn't make any YouTube videos really, and that was a really weird time for me. I was kind of confused. I was like, what am I gonna do? Do I really know? I promise this feeds into the
Of course.
college thing.
No, no.
Like,
Tangents are a
do I
big
really?
thing of this podcast, so do not be worrying.
Great. um, do I know, or do I really want to go into like video stuff? When I was 12, I actually remembered this during this conversation. I wanted to be a hairdresser, which I think makes the red hair make a lot more sense. I watched a lot of hair YouTube, but
Mm.
um, I I was sort of directionless. I was actually making a lot of music for a little while, but I didn't know what I wanted to do professionally. Uh, and when I went into college, I was a communications major. Technically, that's still what I am because at
Mhm.
UMass, film is still in the incubation period, and it's been in there for like 5 years. It's not going
Oh,
to be
wow.
out. It's not going to be a real major until next semester. So next semester, when I am a senior, I will be able to switch to film and have that, and bring it
Yeah.
home and have that be finally my major. But right now, I'm still communications, but I've been treating it like I'm film. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I kind of just picked classes, went to school. And like the
Mhm.
first semester, I failed a class, just fucked it up. Like I stopped doing the work, and then I got sick at the end, and I never emailed the teacher. Let this be a lesson to you. If you are still the age where this applies to you, this is to the viewer.
Because I'm
Don't
definitely not.
if if you're sick, email your teacher and say, I am sick. Please, can I have an extension on the assignment or something to the tune of that? Advocate for yourself because I didn't, and I failed a class and I felt really stupid. But then uh then I went abroad to Spain for a semester.
Oh, very nice.
And because of the nature of like what I did to get into college, I actually unenrolled and went to Spain and then re-enrolled in UMass. Sort of unconventional. It was technically a high school gap year program,
Yeah.
but then uh, I came back in sophomore year. I was doing a little bit more film stuff, but I'm still in like big lectures. We're not doing any production. So like the school system, especially at this like big state school, is not super pointed towards production. It's more just like kind of loose sitting, watching movies, and like very loose conversation around it. And then last semester, things started to get a little bit more specific. But this semester is the first time, it's the second semester, my junior year. It's the first time that I'm actually getting the chance to do some video production in a class.
Hmm.
But until this point, um, I've had this camera
Mhm.
for 5 or 6 years, and I've had that microphone. I used to have a different microphone, but I recently also, I have them right here. I also have some lavalier microphones. Jeez, they hook up to these things, and
Oh, yes. Yeah.
they're the things that they go up in
Yeah. The
your.
little sort of pins that hook onto your. Yeah.
Mine have magnets.
I had to.
They're pretty cool.
Dealt with them at my wedding. Our videographer insisted that we wear them,
Oh,
like for our ceremony, for the speeches, and he didn't notice them at the time, but like when I was watching the video that he sent us back, all you could hear is just the heavy breathing through them. And I was like, please, please fucking edit this out
You're
right
just
now. Like, holy
standing at
shit.
the altar, just like,
Yeah, just like you could just hear just this. Oh man, I was just like, I told the videographer, and he was just like, I never noticed that, but now it's all I can hear, and I was like, good, edit it, please, get that shit off that.
wait, I'm sorry, you just cut out. You said it's all you can hear, and then what?
Oh yeah, like so it was all a videographer could hear once like he realized that all he could hear was just the, and it was
Mm.
just he just was like, yeah, please get rid of that, please get rid of that, and thankfully he did, but.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah, so
that would be an uncomfortable wedding video to have.
like we watched it and I noticed it. I'm not really sure if my wife noticed it first, but then when I told her
Mm.
about it, she went back and she was like, "Okay, that's all I can hear now." So in terms of the filmmaking then that you're doing now, then, like obviously it's been a 2.5 year slog really to try and actually
Mhm.
get to sort of doing,
Oh my God, yeah.
what you went to college for. Like, so what is the latest project then in regards to your filmmaking right now in college?
Well, the class that I'm taking is called Film and TV Production Program Process in Television is what
Mhm.
it's called. Um, and we go out with cameras that are bigger than this.
Yep.
They're kind of this kind of thing,
Like the shoulder
and
ones that
and
you
we
see like on the news kind of thing,
oh
or
no, we're not. That was an unfortunate. We're just it's like they're
just a
like
bit big,
this
just a bit
big.
bigger, sort of, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a plate that you put under the tripod, and so we've
Yes.
got cameras and we've got tripods,
Yeah. Okay, I know what you
and
mean.
uh, we have not used microphones yet, and we have not used. We're usually not using sound. It's
Mhm.
just silent filmmaking, and we're just trying to go for shooting stuff and then editing it. It's unbelievably simple.
Yeah.
Um, at the moment.
Because you've probably
So
done more than that just with your YouTube videos alone, right?
by a lot.
Yeah.
But like I was like I'm not trying to say I'm like some kind of aficionado of filmmaking, and I'm like a big fish in a little pond here. But I was doing the stuff we're doing in class when I was like, before I could pee standing up. That's not actually true. I actually could pee when I actually could pee when I was standing up when I was like 4. Um, which I think is early,
I don't
but
know.
um, how old were you when you could pee standing up?
I have no idea. It was that long ago. I don't remember.
Huh. I guess that's not something you think about.
No, but tune in next time to find out.
um, I Well, it's just very simple, like visual storytelling at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like at the first day, every week on Fridays, we get a prompt, and then we have like 2 hours to go shoot it and edit it. So usually we're actually editing. Oh shit! Wait a second. I didn't edit. Damn it! I have to edit a video today.
Oh damn.
Ah, fuck.
So I really
Um,
do extend the thanks for appearing on behind the camera because it come at the expense of you editing for your college. So man, I appreciate that.
well, I just forgot about it. I was like, I've had more to do than usual
Yeah.
uh, for like a week, and this week too, and the next week is spring break.
Party.
But yeah, I'm going to be visiting my brother in Hawaii,
Oh shit.
but he
Nice.
lives there. He's a physical therapist
That's unreal.
there.
See, we
Um,
didn't get like spring break and stuff here. Like we had the equivalent of spring break that you guys have in the US versus us here is the Easter holidays. And it's like we have like the long weekend for
oh,
Easter off, And whenever we were in school, like it wasn't even a college thing. Like in college, you got like 4 months off or something. That's a whole different thing. But like when we were in school, anyway, like we would have a week and a half off around the Easter weekend because it fell like in terms of our like
Okay.
term time, semester time. But like that was about as like crazy as it got. You hear all these like, I mean, from the UK anyway, you see like all these like sort of spring break parties and how crazy it
Oh,
gets and all
yeah.
that kind of. I mean, however much of it is just a stereotype versus actuality, I don't know, but yeah,
Well,
we didn't have not have any of that crazy shit here. We just had the Easter holidays.
the crazy shit is in America is when kids go to Florida, or like it's mostly kids that go to Florida. Like they go from where I live to there to party. And there's like a whole spring break, like they come together
Yeah.
there.
As soon as you said Florida as well, it just makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I
That's a
assume that
hotbed of
yeah,
stereotype.
like it seems to be like a universal meme, Florida. Like, and sorry to any Floridians who may be
Hmm.
listening to this, I apologize for you. But like
I think they'll understand,
yeah, I think so too.
honestly.
I think so too. But like there's the whole
You
meme
guys
as
live in
well.
a weird place.
Yeah,
It's a weird place.
yeah. Like it's the only place that I can think of where if you put your birthday into Google and then type in Florida, it will come up with a criminal news article about something that somebody has done on your birthday
Hmm.
and it's in Florida. Like genuinely.
Someone swallowed a crocodile
Ex-
in a 7-Eleven.
yeah, exactly.
Or
Just something absolutely batshit crazy like that. Like it just is yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Just oh man, Florida is like I've never even been to Florida, but like at the same time, you
I
hear
have.
so much about it. Like, is it as nutty as, or is it only just the things that you hear? It just this
Well,
press.
you hear about the craziest stuff, and also a lot of stuff is made up.
Yeah,
Uh, and but like you go there, it's pretty. It's America. So it's America, but hot. It's
yeah,
which doesn't. It's when I'm in like a tropical place that's America. It doesn't really click with me because in my head, America is Massachusetts, which is kind of it's a very temperate place.
yeah,
And then you go to like I'm going to Hawaii. When you're in Hawaii, it's like kind of surreal that
yeah,
it's just looks like America, but it's Hawaii.
yeah.
But I think I recently I've been getting a funny perspective on American stereotypes from other countries. My girlfriend is German, and that's why I'm learning German at
Oh,
Duolingo.
okay.
And it's like she talks about like she did an exchange program in high school where she came for a school year,
Yeah.
and she talks about how like before that she was like so excited to see like the yellow school buses, and she was like when I was talking about my childhood she was like, wait, did you take a yellow school bus to school every day? And she thought because of like high school movies that like
Yeah.
American parties were going to be the greatest things ever, but like no, he's from Germany. Like Germany's where the best parties happen.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like it's so funny how like diluted everything gets whenever it goes like stories and like sort of stereotypes go across the water and stuff. Like it really just gets lost in
Hmm.
translation and it is just I just think it's incredible and it's like, these are the places that I think you just have to see like in your lifetime as well to really kind of live out and experience it.
Well,
So
you're sitting here saying that beans on toast guy. You're
here,
like
don't
you're like, oh,
don't knock
I've
it.
just woken up in the morning. I've just woken up in the morning. I'll have some beans on toast.
Don't knock it, man. It's
Why
good.
not have a why not have a what do you call bangers? Why not have bangers and mash
Bangers and
now?
mash, yeah. But so yeah,
You probably say that all the time.
see, it's weird for me
Or maybe not.
because I was born in England, but I've lived in Ireland for 20 years. And they're like, despite only
Oh,
being,
okay.
you know, like, despite only being a very short distance away, there are some distinct differences. You don't really say bangers and
Hmm.
mash here. It's like, but in England they definitely do. But like beans on toast, right? This
Mhm.
it is for some reason it's an age old thing in the
We're
UK,
doing this right now.
and but like it seems as though it's like only really been recently kind of like people are finding out about it now in America, right? And all I'm saying is like, don't knock it, man. You get like a tin of beans, you get like 2 or 3 rounds of toast and butter
Dude,
the
I bet it's
toast.
great.
It is. It just sounds like so unconventional, but then at the same time, like there's it's almost as if like sort of American people are fighting back against the stereotypes and now firing it towards the British people, especially with like British
Hmm.
cuisine and stuff. And like it's the sort of thing,
Hmm.
having grown up with it for 31 years, I'm kind of just like, this is normal to me. But then now I see it coming from other places, I'm like, okay, maybe there are some things that are a little bit questionable, but like so it's just funny. But yeah, the whole beans on toast thing, that just it makes me laugh because dude, that shit's good, man. That shit is good.
Well, I was just if you think about it, hummus,
Yeah.
that's beans on toast. If you put it on toast,
Are
and if
chickpeas
toast is
are
basically
chickpeas
a
technically
cracker,
like a bean, are they?
which I don't know, maybe they're a legume.
So similar
It's
enough either way, like
it's always hard to tell, but
yeah.
basically beans.
Similar, yeah, something similar anyway. Yeah. Like I don't know I don't
So
know
like
enough about them to really kind of protest, but
I think well, I don't know much about hummus either, to be honest.
apart from the
Full
fact it's
disclosure.
tasty.
Hey, you and me both. You don't gotta tell me. But but the I think what perturbs people about beans on toast is the fact that there are so many little pieces and they are in a liquid and they're on top of the toast.
Yeah.
And so like it looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
I'm a person who can get past that type of thing. To me, as a concept, if I think about it for 1 second, it makes a lot of sense. I'm not just like trying to kiss up to you right now. This is genuinely how I feel.
Yeah. See? It's a man of culture that we have right here. A man of culture. And this man
An open
understands.
mind.
Exactly, open mind. That is like the best way to be.
Oh god, this is embarrassing. I was trying to do an eye on my. I was trying to do a third eye, but I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Like sort of like no. I
That's it's too big.
yeah,
Yeah, right. An eye is kind of hard.
yeah.
You can make yourself into an eye,
Yeah, that works.
but that's just one eye.
Yeah.
I guess maybe there's three in total if you
Yeah,
count the two.
that's true.
The point is, my third eye is open,
Of course.
and beans. I haven't had it, but beans on toast probably good.
Yeah.
I've been to Scotland.
Oh yeah, they definitely do beans on toast there too. Like yeah.
I didn't see it. I had haggis.
It's okay. I've never actually tried haggis before. It freaks me out.
It just
I
tastes like meat.
I've heard that. I've heard that. Yeah. I feel like it's from
It's
something I
nothing
probably will
special.
eventually try, but I don't
You know
know.
what's really I like is the blood sausage.
Yeah, black pudding.
Yes.
I that's a no for me personally, and it's not because of what's
Okay.
in it, because a lot of people are put off by what it's made out of, right? But I don't care
Mhm.
about that. Like like it's just nah. It tastes like ash to me, and it's just like yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not a fan. But yeah, like it's the the cuisine thing is like it's an interesting one because it's actually somebody I actually had on the podcast a couple of months ago. We actually kind of got into a similar conversation, and the whole chips versus crisps debate happened. So you guys call
Mm.
potato chips, well, you call them that. We call them
I don't
crisps.
know if I would call that a debate. It's more just a difference in the way that we
Oh,
call
it
things.
got heated though. It got fucking heated.
Really?
Like yeah, yeah. Just that. Yeah, it was just. But yeah,
Where
it
was
was
this
just like
guest from?
somewhere in America, somewhere in the States as well. I'm not
Okay.
sure where, but Kentucky, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was it was just funny,
And they were
Um,
saying chips are little, chips are little thin crispy things. So, okay, the British version, and again, I'm not just kissing your ass right
No, of
now.
course.
I'm just thinking about what makes sense here.
Yeah.
The British version makes more sense because a crisp is a crispy little crunchy thing, and a chip is a. It's basically if you it looks like a wood chip.
Yeah.
If you chipped off a piece of wood, it looks like the chip of the potato that is a French fry.
See?
So
Again, this man gets it.
it
This man
it makes
understands.
it makes sense. I have.
That's it. The third eye is open. So I just wanted to circle back a second here. So
Yes.
you've mentioned a couple of times about music that you have written and produced in the
Hmm.
past. Now, tell us about that and also your Spotify page as well. Like I also happened to find your Spotify page.
You found it?
I found it. Yeah. Is it meant? Is it
Because
was that meant to be like a not findable?
no, I was deleted if that was the case. But how did you find it?
So, this is going to sound really weird when I say this out loud, but I searched I searched your username on Instagram. I
Mm,
found Instagram because like when you think of like content creation, YouTube, you think other social media or social media kind of
yeah.
thing and that kind of content presence. So I searched
Mm.
Instagram, found YouTube and Spotify link. So I
Oh
you
okay.
gotta do your research when you get a guest on, man, and all, you know. And it's the thing is when you kind of feel like you have to explain that, it sounds incredibly invasive. So I apologize if that was.
No, no, you're doing your research. If I were in your position, it's just that's the only research you can do. I haven't like written a book or done it. You're just looking for my content.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'm glad you see it that way because not everybody
Yeah.
might. But yes, so I did indeed find, and I listened to your tracks as well, and like it's I
Which
like the stuff.
can I ask which songs did you listen to?
Honestly, dude, off the top of my head, I cannot remember the names, but it was just on the
Okay.
top, like the top five on like the was like the top played ones, I suppose, like the top five that comes up. If it
I'm gonna look at which ones those are so I can try and so that I can try and uh figure out which ones you've heard.
one of them was like 30 seconds long, and
Okay, so you would have interesting. This is a weird list that's at the top. Um okay. So I made I made an EP in well, I started making music pretty early on. I saw music as a pretty like YouTube. I wanted to be a YouTuber,
yeah,
right? So YouTubers also make music. That's what I thought
yeah,
because like Smosh, they would do like they did like Legend of Zelda rap.
yeah,
You know, Ryan Higa did like his what did it, he did the K-pop stuff as like a Dong Saya Day. That means I have to take a shit. He did a like a K-pop group parody. Uh, and like so many YouTubers, Logan Paul, they
yeah,
just have their part of their brand and like the saturation of their brand is making music and putting it out. So I was pretty early on. I was like, I got to start making music. And okay, this is an unfortunate name to say these days, and maybe I shouldn't even say it. Big influence of mine until he was eventually canceled, Cody Ko. So, and he was doing music
yeah,
uh, pretty prominently as Tiny Meat Gang. When you think about a TMG, GCB, like what's going on there?
yeah. There's
Uh,
somewhat of a you can yeah an overlap almost.
mhm.
Yeah.
Jack's Films also did a lot of musical comedy.
Hmm.
So I started out trying to do like satirical songs, and then started getting more into like production, and I was like, all right, I'm going to take a break from recording with my voice and just do some instrumental albums.
Yeah.
So I did some electronic instrumental albums, and then that was freshman year. I did 2 albums, and then of college, and then sophomore year I did an EP that was 5 songs where I used my voice, and then there are 2 singles where I used my voice, and then there are 2 more albums that are just instrumental, electronic instrumentals. Those 2, the most recent 2, are I think my best work. The albums Quest for the Present and Greenhouse Patrol. Those are the best stuff. Very inspired by video game soundtracks.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to those a lot. I still listen to those all the time. I haven't been making music really since I put out Greenhouse Patrol a few months ago. So I've really just been focusing on making videos more recently.
Yeah. So like whenever it comes to like your music, like is it sort of just another creative outlet that you have? Like obviously there is like you mentioned there's like the wanting to be a YouTuber, wanting the two things to kind of go hand in hand, but as obviously time's gone on, you've learned more, you've created more videos and more content. Has it in any way turned into a thing? It's just like I have an idea for a beat in my head. I'm gonna just try and put this down on paper here. Or when you write something, do you kind of think this could go in a YouTube video? Like, do the two creative processes of YouTube and musical writing kind of go hand in hand sometimes?
I have done both of those.
Okay.
I when I was like 15, I was actually making a lot of electronic instrumentals for the purpose of putting them as background music in my videos. I really liked the idea of just having like a Conrad universe of like, oh, he makes his own background music, that I wanted that as part of my thing. And then so that was what got me started on the instrumentals, and then I started thinking like, okay, what if I just make it as stuff that's meant to be listened to, not as background music, because I might feel, I don't know, I would feel maybe less constrained that way.
Yeah.
So then the instrumentals then started getting more like complex, and that stuff, the more recent instrumentals don't work that great. Maybe they do. I haven't thought about it. I haven't tried.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're as good as background music as some of the earlier stuff was, because it was just simple stuff. It's all, this stuff is, there's way more beeps and boops in the new stuff, and it might be distracting from whatever I'm saying in my video.
Yeah, of course. So like, because it's not exactly written for a YouTube video, it's one of those things where it's out there for the world to sort of enjoy. Whether it works or not, maybe, but that's not really the purpose, sort of thing.
Yeah, I didn't make those albums for the purpose of using them as background music in my videos. But my process for making that music, and man, this is a bygone, far away time now, when I used to have 2 AirPods in my goddamn AirPod case. Hold on. Look at that shit.
Dude.
Fucking sad.
I feel that though. I can relate, like, different. Well, in a way, I can relate. I ended up putting mine through the washing machine. So I guess it's sort of if it makes you feel any better.
And after that, it was broken.
So they still worked, but they didn't charge. I think it's just needed in the case. So like they would charge, but then the battery was kind of fucked, and then like they didn't hold a charge basically. So it was kind of like, which is unfortunate, but yeah, it just as my way of showing empathy to the.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You're lost. Thank you. I dropped mine off of a boat.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Into the ocean.
Yeah, you're not getting that.
I told that story to people, and they were like, "Why didn't you jump in after it?" And I was on a sailboat, and it was moving pretty fast, and and I stood up, and one of the ropes was going, and it hit the AirPod out of my ear and went into the water. And so, like, what was I doing on the front of a boat with my freaking AirPods in? I will tell you, it is awesome to listen to music on a boat where you're just cruising, looking at the ocean, and you're like listening to whatever you're listening to. I'm not going to say what I because I might be embarrassed, but I'm listening to music, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, man.
And then you lose the AirPod, and it's just you think that you can that you have possession over your items.
Yeah.
You don't.
No.
You can lose anything at the whim of the world. It can just disappear in an instant.
And all of a sudden, one of your AirPods now belongs to Davy Jones at the bottom of the sea. That is unfortunate, dude.
And now he has to listen to Caro Caro Bonito.
Maybe he's into it
simultaneously with me.
But yeah, sorry.
The reason I was saying that was I would put my AirPods in. I'd be making music on Logic. Most of the music making occurs on the toilet as a how graphic to get. Okay,
as a true artist, as you know,
so I'm making music on the toilet, and then I would export it and then put it on in my files on my phone, so that I could listen to my work in progress as I walk around campus during the day.
Yeah.
So that was what I was doing when I was really like trying to push to like finish these albums. I was just not that there was like a time frame I wanted to finish it, and I was just feeling really creatively motivated towards them. It also definitely, it's something I do when I'm stressed, is I start making things, like, because it's just avoiding what I actually have to do always pushes me towards creative pursuits.
Well, it's an outlet, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's something that, like, even you may not feel it in the time because you're stressed, but regardless, it's still a passion. It's still something that you love doing and would be doing if you weren't stressed anyway. So yeah, no, I totally get that.
Yeah, I heard someone say once that a garden is your idea of heaven. Who said that?
Weird. I feel like I've heard that myself, actually. I feel like I heard that recently.
It was in some show. Yeah, it was like a garden is your idea. It was on Love on the Spectrum. On Love on the Spectrum Australia. I watched it recently. This guy's like, he's got this really nice garden outside his house, and he's like, they say that a garden is your idea of heaven on earth.
Okay.
And I sort of think about like the music as my garden, or like or like the videos also would be sort of my garden, where I'm moving pieces around to where I like them and I want to experience them.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah,
I would listen. I would put it in my AirPods and walk around campus. That was the most efficient way for me to get more ideas and push it further in the direction I wanted.
Yeah, of course. And it is good to have that sort of outlet because it's like a really nice achievement to feel like you've created something where that has solely just come from in here, from inside your head. And it's good to sort of share that with the world, and I think it's a good story to tell, and it's definitely it's a good way to kind of leave your mark as well. So speaking of, sorry, go on, dude.
A problem I ran into with Logic, the digital audio workspace, was there's only so many native presets that you can work with in Logic.
Yeah.
So to what you just said, which is like, this is something that I made, I always had this conflict that was like, is this something that I made? Because yes, I put it in the place that I wanted to put it in, but the thing that I'm using to make it is like a very, anyone can come in and play these. But I guess no, the originality is there.
Do you know? I know exactly what you mean, because I used to do the same thing in GarageBand back in the day,
Hmm.
and I've always thought, I haven't recorded these things. I've just taken loops and presets, put them in a specific order. I've
Ah,
added loads of different things, and it sounds very similar to what you're saying. And it's like, I still think that there
that's
is a creative license there, because you're putting them in an order. Well, okay. Well, take it for take one. Take it for example. You could put a synth somewhere, and you could stretch it out for 64 bars, and it could like
mm,
work well in a background of a video, right? But then at the
mm,
same time, you could take that same synth, put it over 64 bars. You could put like another layer of something underneath it. You could put like a nice drum beat in it. You could put a bit of like sort of, I don't know, like a lot of different things in it. And you have the same sound in two different ways, or two different sort of platforms, but they're completely different. So I would genuinely
hmm.
believe that, even though you haven't necessarily created the presets that you're using, it's still just as valid as a song that you've created, because you have done something with that preset, which I think is really what they're there for.
Yeah, yeah. With loops, it is that's a hard conversation. But I do agree that it's an original thing that you're doing
Yeah.
when you're making changes to them and arranging them. If you so some I remember on GarageBand some loops would be like, and I'm making this up, like if it was like red crab synth and then like red crab beat, red
Yeah.
crab bass, red crab
Yeah.
hi-hat, right? Then uh if you're just putting four red crab things on top of each other, I would argue that's not very original to
Yeah.
do.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Like, yeah,
But
like
if
if
you
you,
take red crab, right, and then you take blue eagle and you put red crab under blue eagle and you cut the snare off of red crab and put it over here and put what I'm saying is just like it I feel like it depends on the level
absolutely.
of uh alteration that you're
Yeah. Oh,
making.
for sure, for sure. Like, you just add as many different kind of layers to it, you know, make the timing right. Yeah, like it like you say, it's the level of alteration you put in. I think it's but yeah, I still think it's a valid way of like making music, and it's at the end of the day, if it's a creative outlet,
Mhm.
it's something you enjoy, and it's something that you can use in multiple sort of ways, then yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's awesome. Like, I definitely personally appreciate the amount of creativity that goes into it, based on essentially what is a limited resource.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um.
I'm sorry, you sort of cut out during
Oh.
certain parts of that sentence, so I wasn't able to get everything that you were saying.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, it's like a sort of it's a pretty cool thing to be able to do with what is essentially a limited resource, in terms of like the loops, and it's really how you kind of implement them, and how you use them, really.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, Conrad. So, being a film major, of course, and obviously you're, like we mentioned, you're only really kind of getting stuck into the whole nitty gritty of filmmaking right now, and even at that, at this point, it's still not exactly uh too challenging, right? But let's look further on into the future. In terms of like YouTube, and after you get your degree, what is your plan? Do you have any sort of ideas, any potential projects? What are the aspirations looking like, coming out of college?
Uh,
Probably a scary question to
uh,
ask somebody who is going to go into their senior year soon, but it's
yeah. What is this, Thanksgiving? Are you
I don't mean to sound like a
Brexit? What is
disappointed parent here or
Brexit?
anything.
Uh, I just I have a sort of a plan. Um, so next year I should be doing classes that are much more intensive,
Yeah.
that I'm more interested in, that this so far has been the greatest semester so far of my whole college career. And in part due to making so many videos just for my YouTube channel, but also doing the production stuff. Some of my classes, I finally feel like close to my classmates because we are in classes that are smaller.
Yeah.
So we actually get to talk to each other. And I found more like-minded people, and I'm in a good place right now. So I think next I'm looking forward to the fact that like I have a whole nother year of this.
Yeah, of course.
After I graduate, my plan right now is to move to live with my uncle who lives in Los Angeles.
Oh, very nice.
He lives a little bit outside of Los Angeles, and he has a spare room that I'm going to stay in, and I am just praying to I don't know, I don't want to say praying to God. I am hoping,
Yeah.
with my hands clasped like this, that I don't end up just like a deadbeat nephew who's like in his uncle's basement, not having a job, basically fucking it up.
No, well, you've got to
I
try.
really hope that doesn't happen.
No, for sure. Like, I mean, I think it's one of those things. It's important to give it a go. Like, because it's, I think the people who've tried it and it hasn't worked out for them probably have less regret than the people who arguably played it safe and
Right.
just were like, nah. They kind of like counted themselves out before even getting there. So I think the fact that that is the fact that that's the plan alone, the fact that you're going to do that, and it certainly works in your favor that you have an uncle out there already.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's like a huge thing. I mean, and then yeah, I think as well like it's probably good having like your YouTube as a somewhat of a portfolio in terms of like your skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that like your studies have kind of helped your direction in terms of YouTube, like, or is it very much a sort of thing where I suppose we kind of like talked about it a little bit before, but like is it more just like sort of YouTube has helped your studies to this point and it's like
No, my school has helped actually a lot. I just being around the people
yeah
has helped a lot. And my most recent video is a video that's in black and white where I am getting a parking ticket. And it's very inspired by the art house movies that I'm watching in my art house cinema class. So those are movies that I otherwise would never have watched.
yeah
Just by virtue of not knowing they exist. But it's there the it is honestly such like a conflict, not a it is such a thing. It's sort of a conflict where like you could educate yourself.
yeah
If you want to do film, you don't need to go to college. You can just watch a bunch of films and research cameras. Like you can figure it out pretty easily. Like there's one of my classmates has watched thousands of movies. He watched like, oh shit, I forget his numbers, but he watched like 600 plus movies in 2022, and then like 317 or something in 2023. It might be 2023 and 2024. I might get the years wrong, but he has been in the past and still now incredibly motivated towards watching more films and becoming more cultured in that medium and more literate in that medium.
yeah
I have been not doing that. So there is a choice of, do I want to educate myself and put a lot of work into educating myself about this thing that I'm passionate about, or do I want to just like pay a tuition and kind of make YouTube videos. So like it's it's so not black and white,
Yeah.
the education you get from going to school.
Yeah, of course. Like it's a very interesting way to look at it because like on one hand you say you've got a classmate who is just like their life is movies. And then yourself where there are certain sort of genres where you didn't even know were a thing until you were exposed to it in school. You've spent all your time making
Yeah.
YouTube videos and learning about the sort of trade through that. And like I think that's like such an incredible thing because it really just shows that there is a lot of production value to be had in content creation, in YouTube, everything like that. Like you use essentially the same tools to a degree that you
Mhm.
would in like a sort of proper production. And I suppose like with the equipment that you've got now, the only difference really is a case of you picking a number of locations and a longer video and just sort of more of
Mhm.
a script, and then you take like your YouTube videos, make them longer, bit more dialogue, and you could turn it into a short film in any way, shape, or form because the level of
Mhm.
production is still there. And I just think that's an incredible thing. And like,
Thanks.
yeah, that's just the power of like actual really going into the sort of depths of YouTubing as a skill. Yeah, like it's interesting. But yeah, Conrad, it has been incredible having you on behind the camera today. I really do appreciate you taking the time out to come on and have a chat. It's been very, very insightful, very funny. I've had a lot of laughs. Honestly, it's very, very much appreciated. Um, so we can find you at Conrad's channel on YouTube. That's
Yeah,
more or less the. Sorry, go on.
I haven't like diversified my platforms super well yet. Because I've been very like I only want to do YouTube when, you know, I should be put to TikTok, with Instagram. I should be doing those things. But Conrad's channel on YouTube, that's where I am.
Yeah, love to hear it. But you know what? As for the other platforms, these things kind of they come with time. They come whenever you know because like they come whenever you feel like it. Because I kind of find that when you're on a specific platform, you kind of almost like thrive on one platform, but you use the other platforms to get people over there. That's what I've kind
Yeah.
of noticed. Like unless you're a sort of full time high end creator in this kind of world, you're kind of that's where you're kind of got the numbers doing the numbers on everything. But yeah, it's a sort of why it's like as a good friend once told me, keep it simple, stupid. You know, that's and I think that's
Mm.
definitely something that you've done with just sort of mainly sticking to YouTube as opposed to sort of branching out. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure maybe in the future we will see Conrad's channel elsewhere. But as I say, Conrad, thank you so much again for taking the time. It has been a brilliant conversation. I
Of
appreciate it,
course,
and I
yeah.
do wish you all the best going forward.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks, man.
You too, Andy Games.
Cheers.
And thank you for having me on Behind the Camera with Andy Games.
Of course, of course.
Subscribe to Andy Games.
Please, please do. Yeah,
Leave a comment.
absolutely. And there you have it. That was my conversation with Conrad's channel. Getting to have this conversation with him was honestly an incredibly entertaining experience. I can really understand the humor that goes into his sketches a lot more, having actually had the conversation with the man himself. Very, very entertaining guy. I really do think he has a bright future ahead of him in terms of content, and I really look forward to seeing what he comes out with next. As always, this has been Behind the Camera with Andy Games. I've been your host, Andy Games. We will be back again with another installment of Behind the Camera with Andy Games very soon. But until then, peace.